Mother read. I use no sandalwood that was not from Benares. My turban, tunic, lower garments and cloak were all of Benares cloth. A white sunshade was held over me day and night so that I would not be troubled by cold or heat, dust or grit or dew. His father ordered the palace guards to prevent him from encountering any hint of sickness, aging, or death. The king believed that if he could only shield his son from all life's unpleasantness, he would not be drawn to the spiritual life and would instead take the worldly path and become a powerful leader. Siddhartha reached the age of 29 and everything seemed to be going according to plan. He had grown up handsome and strong, winning the hand of a beautiful young woman in the traditional manner in an archery contest. His wife had recently given birth to a healthy baby son. But, despite his father's best efforts, eventually and inevitably, Siddhartha came face to face with the realities of life. While he was out driving one morning with his charioteer in the pleasure park, they encountered a senile old man. Siddhartha asked the charioteer what was wrong with the man. This was what happened to people the longer they lived, he explained. Their minds and bodies steadily declined. Shortly afterward, they came across a sick man and later a corpse. In the end, there was no escaping these things. The richest, most powerful man in the world could not hold back sickness, aging, and death. It dawned on Siddhartha that sooner or later even the most beautiful and wonderful things in his life, the most sensual pleasures, would fade. Nothing would be perfect, nothing permanent. Everything he had come to love was subject to change, death, and decay. The king probably noticed a change in his son's demeanor. He seemed distracted, depressed. To cheer him up that evening, Sutatana sent dancers and musicians to entertain him. But as Siddhartha would later recall, when he awoke on his couch in the middle of the night, the performers had all fallen asleep. The minstrels had let their instruments slip through their fingers, and the dancing girls had flopped exhausted to the floor. They were a pitiful sight. Some drivelling at the mouth, spittle besprinkled, some grinding their teeth, some snoring, some muttering in their sleep, some gaping, and some with their dress in disorder. The scene filled Siddhartha with disgust. What had been bright, sensual, and beautiful just hours before had become ugly and debased. So this is what follows in the wake of worldly pleasures, he thought. When he retired to his bedchamber and gazed upon his sleeping wife, desire died in him because all he saw was the old woman she would become. Looking down at his newborn son in his cradle and pondering the boy's future, all Siddhartha saw was a trap holding them both fast to this futile round of duty, trivial entertainments, pain, disappointment, and death. Faced with this sudden mental crisis, the solution seemed obvious. He would run away and start a new life free from the fetters of home and family. He would seek a path out of this cycle of suffering. Earlier that day, after encountering the horrors of sickness, aging, and death for the first time while riding in his chariot through the town, another strange being had caught his eye. A man sitting cross-legged on a street corner, apparently untouched by the noise and chaos all about him, radiant and serene. His charioteer told him this was a wandering ascetic, a truth-seeker, who lived in the forests and relied on the generosity of others. For Siddhartha, he was like a heavenly messenger showing him the way. While still young, a black-haired young man endowed with the blessings of youth in the first stage of life, and while my parents, unwilling, were crying with tears streaming down their faces, I shaved off my hair and beard, put on the ochre robe, and went forth from the home life into homelessness. So began his search for the incomparable, peaceful state of spiritual enlightenment.